So what I'll do for you now is I'll play a few chords, cliched, and we'll add colours to them. I'll call them by their number basically so that you can get used to that number system. The 1 chord, we'll go to the 4 chord, go to the 7 chord, it's your G major, go to the 3 chord, your C major, it's your 6 chord, F major, your 2 chord, your 5 chord with colours, and your 1. I'm sure you've all heard that sound. Again, with a few of the chords there I didn't add any other colours than just straight major or major 7th, but I want you to experiment with each of them. When you play your chord, you have a choice of all these voicings now. Here's our 4 chord D minor. Experiment with colours. All the D minor chords we've learned. Exactly the same as we played a moment ago in A minor. So you can see the potential. Here we go. Colours. 4 chord with colours. Our G chord. Maybe just the C major 7th, F major 7th, B minor 7 flat 5, our 5 chord with colours, and the 1 chord. It's endless what you could dream up with different rhythmic approaches, either fingerstyle, plectrum, the block approach that we looked at earlier, previous lessons, can give them all different textures. But using your imagination with the colours that I've given you, looking inside the scale, listening a lot to minor tunes, you'll discover that now you've got a format to learn them much easier. Now, we want to be able to do all this material, and not just in the key of A minor. We want to be able to do it in any minor key. So here's the test. We're playing a tune in G minor, which is the parent major scale. Now remember the rule I told you? Down a tone and a half, 1.5 steps. So the parent scale would be B flat. If we were doing a tune in the key of B minor, the parent scale would be D major. And I hope you're seeing this, because this will open the doors to knowing the harmony fairly quickly. So let's go back to our G minor. G minor came from B flat major. Let's have a quick look at what you know already about B flat major. You know the scale. You know that on each note of the scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and home. So with just the workout on the E form of the major scale we've already learnt, that will give us all our chords. All we have to do now is change the numbers. Instead of the B flat now being the 1, it's the 3, because G minor now becomes our 1 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, our 5 chord, which we can substitute for our dominant, our 6 chord, our 7 chord, and home. And again, each of the chords that I've shown you there are 5 different ways that you can play them, and it's endless because you can add colours to each of them and experiment with that. I'll do one more key with you. I'll pick the key of B minor just to show you the harmony. B minor came from D major. The chords we already know in D major again, just even if we use the same form. 1 would be D major, the 2 would be E minor 7th, the 3 would be F sharp minor 7th, the 4 would be G or G major 7, the 5 would be A major or A7, the 6 would be B minor or B minor 7, and finally C sharp minor 7 flat 5. You've already learned this shape. So basically we give them new numbers. The B minor now, which was the 6th chord, becomes the 1. The C sharp minor 7 flat 5 becomes the 2. D major or D major 7 becomes the 3. E minor 7, your 4. F sharp minor 7, your 5, or F sharp 7. And remember the colours. Our 6th chord would be G major or G major 7. And finally our 7th chord would be A major or A7. There we have it. Again, practice all the same 2-5-1s. Back to your B minor. At this point, let me show you a few altered chords on the dominant using the E form. We've looked at the C form, which I gave you flat 9s, raised 5s, ordinary 5s, etc. Let's take a look at the E form of a dominant chord. I'll give the example just in the key we've just played in. We find that our 5 chord was F sharp, dominant 7th. Now again, to alter the notes, if you remember, the important thing to be able to spot is the 9th and the 5th. Let's find them inside this form. Our 5th would be the 2nd fret on the 2nd string. That's our C sharp note. Let's see why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To spot any interval, always revert back to the major scale and count. That's our 5th. Let's find the 9th. So the 2 notes in the E form of a dominant we want to spot is the 5th and the 9th. Back to our chord, be able to see those notes. So if we wanted to raise the 9, if we wanted to flatten it, if we wanted to raise the 5, if we wanted to flatten it. So here are a few examples of your altered chords on the E form. Notice that I've broken away from the full shape. We can use your thumb to come over and play the root. But sometimes you can play it without the root, just from the 4th string. So here we have a raised 5 with a flat 9. Looks like our minor 7 flat 5 shape. Here's a raised 5 with a raised 9. Here's just a raised 5. Here's a flat 5, G or F sharp 7, flat 5, ordinary 5. So there's a few for you there to back to our B minor. Let me play a few 2-5s using colours in the key of D, or coming from D I should say. It's the key of B minor. So we've got our C sharp minor 7 flat 5, our F sharp, B minor. was a minor 9. Now, hopefully you can have a lot of fun with that. Try practicing it in as many different keys, being able to spot where the relative minor is, taking your harmony from that parent scale and placing it then with the emphasis now that the minor chord is the 1. Use the same scale underneath, except when you play on the 5 chord, where one note changes and it forms the harmonic minor scale. Later we'll look at soloing over these 2 5-1s, and you'll see the use then of the harmonic minor scale on that 5 chord. But until now, just have fun with those, see how you get on. Thank you.